Hey, what's up, guys? Carlos Miller here. Photography is not a crime. As many of you know, I've been running this website for 9 years, and we've done a pretty decent job on exposing the bad cops. And we got so many bad cop stories that we can't even get to them all. We're up to our eyeballs in these bad cop stories. People send us videos and stories, and we can't get to them all. But still, every week, at least once a week, twice a week, there's always someone who reaches out to me and says, Carlos, you never write about the good cops. There's so many good cops out there. Oh, the majority of them are good cops. And go ahead. And the problem is this, is like these good cops are not doing anything about the bad cops. They're not exposing the bad cops. The ones that do, actually, and we have written about them, they're the ones who get retaliated against. They're the ones who get suspended and disciplined, and they have to fight for their job, and they get written up, and they have to deal with all kinds of bullshit because they expose the bad cops, because they're doing what they should be doing. Meanwhile, the cops who are beating people up and taking, throwing people in jail for taking pictures and shooting people, tasering people, pepper spraying people who don't deserve it, torturing people, those cops are protected, under investigation. Even though we all see what took place, it takes 2 minutes to come to a conclusion, but it's going to take them 6 months to determine that he acted reasonably. That's what they say. Oh, he acted reasonably, and we're supposed to accept that. So, okay, cool. If that's the way it is, then, you know what? I don't want to hear shit about the good cops, because they're not good cops if these bad cops are allowed to do that. Because if you think about it, in any organization, if you work in wherever you work at, and then you start screwing up, well, you have to lose your job. I mean, even if you screw up while you're off work, we see this all the time. Somebody, viral video comes out, they act like idiots, and then they lose their job, and it's like, well, hey, that's the deal with it. That's you had to deal with the consequences. Cops, on the other hand, they do all kinds of crap, and they keep their job, except when they try to expose the bad cops. There's a cop named Ray Lewis. He's a former cop. He's a retired Philadelphia police captain. He spent 20 years as a cop. He is now a police accountability activist. And one thing he told me that I'll never forget is this. He said, out of all the people that go into the police academy, 1/3 go in there to do the right thing. These are the good cops. These are the ones who actually want to make a difference. Then you have another third who go in there because they need a job, and it's a good job. It's a secure job. I mean, especially if you don't have a lot of education or you don't have many skills, and you go to the police academy, you spend a few weeks there, and you get hired, and then you have this job that's very secure where you can actually go around killing people and keep that job. I'm not saying that's their intent, but that's what we see. Now, the other third, they go into the police academy because they want power. These are the bad cops for the most part. We know these people. I mean, we've seen these people in high school. These were the bullies. We see these people in the workplace. These are the people who will walk all over you to get what they want. They don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. These are the politicians. Most of them are basically scumbags. These are the people who will lie and do whatever it takes as long as it benefits them. And these are the people that get promoted. These are the sergeants and the majors and the lieutenants and the captains and the police chiefs. So what do you think happens when they're running the show? And then you have a cop on the lower rank who does something unlawful, who throws people in jail, and who abuses their rights and is all caught on camera. Who do you think protects that? Well, obviously, the bad cops who are running the show, they're going to protect that cop, rather than say, we're not going to tolerate this. But for the most part, no, they circle the wagons and they protect each other. Unless a good cop emerges and say, hey, he blows the whistle. Look, this cop, he covered up the truth here. I mean, this guy died, and he didn't have to die, like we saw in Missouri with the Missouri Highway Patrol officer who had to fight for his job and who ended up retiring, and he had to raise money, and he raised less money than the other cop who killed, because that's how it is. Police culture, they support the bad cops. And that's the problem here. So why the fuck are you getting on my ass, but you're not writing about the good cops when the good cops are not writing up the bad cops, right? Think about that. And if they're not doing it, then guess whose job it is? It's our job. And we have that power. We have the cameras. We have the internet. We can spread these videos. We can shoot these videos. We can continue sharing these stories that we see every day. And we can keep putting it into people's minds that it's no longer this Norman Rockwellian police force that we were led to believe as we were growing up. Like, oh, the cops are so good. They're heroes. But they got all these weapons and body armor and backup. And still, they're in fear for their life because I have a phone and I'm pointing at them, recording them. That's what they call officer safety. Yeah? So that's your good cop. Wake up, people. It's up to us to do this job.